Hello friends, welcome to my channel Learning Electronics. I want to inform you that we have started a new channel for lectures in Hindi language. So if you want to see the videos in the Hindi language, then you can visit that channel and subscribe that channel for lectures in Hindi language, and the lectures in the English language will be uploaded in this channel of Learning Electronics, and the new channel name is Learning Electronics in Hindi, whose link will be provided in the description box below. So using that link you can go to that channel and subscribe that channel also. Please do subscribe this channel also, and also press the bell icon so that you can get more updated videos from here. In the last lecture we have discussed the classification of control systems based on stability with the help of real life examples. In this lecture we are going to discuss absolutely stable control system with the help of examples of pole zero plot. In this lecture we are going to discuss absolutely stable control system with the help of pole zero plot. The stability of linear control system is determined from the location of closed loop poles in the S-plane. What is the meaning of closed loop poles? The poles which we find out from the closed loop transfer function of any system are called as closed loop poles, and the poles that are close to the origin are called as dominant poles. Like for example, this is a pole zero diagram of a system. Here two poles are there at S is equal to -1 and at S is equal to -2. So here we can see that this S is equal to -1 pole is near to the origin. Therefore, this pole is called as dominant pole. When the poles of the transfer function lie in the left half of the S-plane or left half of the imaginary axis, then that type of system is called as stable system. That means all the poles of the system should lie in the left half of this j omega axis. Then only the system will be stable system. Second, when poles lie in the right half of the imaginary axis or right half of the S-plane, then that type of system is called as unstable system. And if any one pole of the transfer function lie in the left half of the S-plane, then also the system becomes unstable. Next point is repeated poles on the imaginary axis makes the system unstable. Means if we have, this is j omega axis, and if there are repeated poles on the j omega axis, means two poles at the same point are there, then the system becomes unstable system. But when non-repeated poles exist on the imaginary axis, then the system will be marginally stable system. Like for example, non-repeated poles means one pole is here and one pole is here. They are not repeated at only one point. So this type of poles are called as non-repeated poles. If non-repeated poles are there on the j omega axis, then that type of system is called as marginally stable system or critically stable system. Next point is pole distance from the imaginary axis in left half of the S-plane find out the relative stability of the system. Like for example, one system has pole at S is equal to -3 and another system is given whose pole lie at S is equal to -1. So here we can see that this S is equal to -1 pole lie near to the origin, whereas this S is equal to -3 pole lie away from the origin. That means if the pole distance from the origin increases, then the stability of the system increases. That means the stability of system 1 will be greater than stability of system 2 because the pole of system 1 is far away from the origin. Okay, now let us define stability. Stability is defined as the ability of any system to provide bounded output when bounded input is given. And as the stability is an important property of the control system, thus the performance of the control system shows high dependency on stability. Therefore, we can say that stable system is designed to get desired response from any system. And stability does not depend on the input of the system, but the steady state output of the system depends on the poles of the applied input. Now let us see some important points related to absolutely stable control system. First point is if the system is stable for all the range of system component values, it is known as absolutely stable control system. Second point is, in the absolutely stable control system, all the poles should lie in the left half of the S-plane. Third point is, the absolutely stable control system should be BIBO stable. That means bounded input, bounded output stable. Means it should give a bounded output for bounded input. And fourth point is, absolute stable system should have ability to reach its steady state value. Now let us define absolutely stable control system, a linear time invariant system. That means LTI system is said to be stable if, first point, if the system is excited by bounded input, then the output is also bounded and the output should be controllable. Then that type of system is called as stable system. Second point is, in the absence of input signal also, the output must tend to 0 irrespective of the initial condition. Then that type of system is called as stable system. And third point is, if the system is stable for all the values of parameters irrespective of the changes or disturbances, then it is called as absolutely stable system. Now let us see what is bounded signals. Bounded value of signal represents a finite value. That means bounded signals holds a finite value of maxima and minima. So if maximum and minimum value of any signal is finite, then that type of signal is called as bounded signal. And if maximum and minimum value of any signal is finite, that means all other values between maximum and minimum will also be finite. Okay, now let us see examples to understand this bounded signal. We have taken two signals. This is one signal and this is one signal. So here we can see that at t is equal to 0, the minimum value of this signal exists. So at t is equal to 0, the signal Ct is equal to 0, and at t tends to infinity, the signal Ct is equal to 1 here. So here we can see that this signal consists of finite minimum and maximum value. Therefore, it is a bounded signal. So if a system provides bounded signal as output for bounded input signal, then that type of system is called as absolutely stable control system. Again, if we take this signal, here we can see that when t is equal to 0, at that time the signal Ct is equal to 1 here at t is equal to 0, and when t tends to infinity, the Ct will be equal to 0. So here we can see that this signal attains its minimum value at t tends to infinity, but it attains maximum value at t is equal to 0. This signal has finite minimum and maximum value. Therefore, this signal is also called as bounded signal. Therefore, if any system provides such type of output, then that system is said to be stable system. Now let us see how to find out the poles from a closed loop transfer function. Let the closed loop transfer function Cs by Rs is equal to Ns by ds, where Ns is the numerator of the transfer function and ds is the denominator of the transfer function. So to find out the closed loop poles, when we put this denominator of this transfer function ds is equal to 0, then the roots will be the poles of the transfer function. Therefore, the poles of the transfer function are the roots of the denominator polynomial when equated to 0. Okay, so let us take one example. Like for example, this denominator polynomial ds is equal to s plus 2 into s plus 5. Okay, so when we equate this equation to 0, we get roots s is equal to minus 2 and s is equal to minus 5. So this s is equal to minus 2 and minus 5 are the poles of this transfer function. And if we draw pole 0 plot, then it will look like this. So here we can see that all the poles are lying in the left half of the S-plane. Therefore, this type of system will be a stable system. Now let us take one example to understand the absolutely stable control system. Let the overall transfer function of any closed loop control system Cs by Rs is equal to 10 divided by s plus 2 into s plus 4. Now let us assume that a unit step input is applied to the control system. Then the Laplace transform of the unit response Rs will be equal to 1 by S. So when we put Rs is equal to 1 by S, we will get Cs is equal to 10 divided by S into S plus 2 into S plus 4. Now we will apply partial fraction method to this equation. We will get A by S plus B by S plus 2 plus C by S plus 4. When we solve this and find out A, B and C values, we will get A is equal to 1.25, B is equal to minus 2.5 and C is equal to 1.25. So when we put the values of A, B, C in this equation, we will get CS is equal to 1.25 divided by S minus 2.5 divided by S plus 2 plus 1.25 divided by S plus 4. Now we will take inverse Laplace transform of this equation. We will get, so this is the output response we are getting here. We know that the output response is the addition of steady state response and the transient response. Though this will be the steady state response which is represented by CSS, and this part of the equation will be the transient response which is represented by CTT. Therefore CT will be equal to CSS plus CTT, that is steady state response plus transient response. Now if we take the overall transfer function of the system, it is equal to 10 divided by S plus 2 into S plus 4. So if we find out the closed loop poles, then we will get S is equal to minus 2 and S is equal to minus 4. So this transfer function has two poles at S is equal to minus 2 and at S is equal to minus 4. So as both the closed loop poles are located in the left half of the S plane, the output response has two exponent terms with negative indices. As we can see from this equation, it has two exponent terms with negative indices of minus 2t and minus 4t. Okay, so from this equation of output response also we can find out the closed loop poles of any system. Now in this equation, if t tends to infinity, here, this transient response CTT becomes 0. Therefore the output response CT will be equal to steady state response, which is equal to 1.25. Therefore as t tends to infinity, the system is reaching to its steady state. This type of system is a absolutely stable control system. Now let us take some examples to understand more clearly absolutely stable control system. Here first example is the overall transfer function of a system CS by Rs is equal to 10 divided by S plus 2 into S plus 4 is given. It is the same example. If we find out the poles of the system, we just have to equate this denominator of this transfer function, that is S plus 2 into S plus 4 is equal to 0. Then the roots of the transfer function we will get minus 2 and minus 4. That means these are the poles of this transfer function. Now we draw the pole 0 plot for this. This is the pole 0 plot. Here we got S is equal to minus 2 and S is equal to minus 4 poles. So here we can see that both the poles of the transfer function lie in the left half of this j omega axis. Therefore this is absolutely stable control system. Now let us take another example. Here the overall transfer function CS by Rs is equal to 10 divided by S plus 2 into S square plus S plus 1 is given. Okay, so if we find out the closed loop poles, then we have to equate this denominator equal to 0. Then we will get S plus 2 into S square plus S plus 1 is equal to 0. So first pole will be at S is equal to minus 2 we will get, and second pole we have to find out from this equation. When we apply the formula of the roots of the quadratic equation, we will get S is equal to minus 1 by 2 plus minus root 3 by 2 j. Okay, so here we have two poles at S is equal to minus 1 by 2 plus root 3 by 2j, and second pole will be at S is equal to minus 1 by 2 minus root 3 by 2j. So for this system, the pole 0 diagram will look like this. Here first pole will be at S is equal to minus 2 and this will be minus 1 by 2 point. So since it is a complex conjugate poles, here we will get plus root 3 by 2 j, and here we will get minus root 3 by 2 j. So here we can see that as all the poles are lying in the left half of the S plane, this type of system is called as absolutely stable control system. These are the output responses of the absolutely stable control system. This is the first response. Here we can see that after attaining the transient response, the system is reaching a steady state value. This is the steady state value of output. So this type of response we get from the absolutely stable control system. And second response is the output response of first order control system. Here we can say that at t is equal to 0, the output response is equal to 0, and at t tends to infinity, the output response is equal to 1. So since it is a bounded signal, because it has finite value of minima and maxima, therefore this is the output response of the absolutely stable control system, and the equation of this curve will be equal to 1 minus e to the power minus t. So in this equation, if we put t is equal to 0, then we will get Ct is equal to 0, and if we put t is equal to infinity, we will get Ct is equal to 1, because e to the power minus infinity is equal to 0. And this is the third response. Here we can see that when t is equal to 0, we are getting the output is equal to 1, and when t tends to infinity, we are getting output is equal to 0. So the equation of such type of curve will be equal to e to the power minus t. So if we put t is equal to 0 here, we will get 1, and if we put t is equal to infinity here, we will get 0. So since this signal has minimum value of maxima and minima, this is also a bounded signal, and it is the output response of the absolutely stable control system. So if we get this type of output response from any system, then that type of system is called as absolutely stable control system, if we are applying the bounded input to that system. So hope you have understood the topic. Thank you very much for watching. In the next class, we are going to discuss unstable control systems.